All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Waha, Wakar, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing His word and sincerity and truth across the four corners of the earth. All right, I just want to come back, with another quick lesson, about moving accordingly in this world, moving with wisdom, at all times. Not only just at camp, I guess within the confines of your home, just when you out and about, you know what I'm saying? You always, gotta be wiser, okay, than your adversaries, which is everybody that's not in this truth. And your adversaries being everybody that's not in this truth means you and the other Akim, you're vastly outnumbered. So if you're not moving with wisdom at all times, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna stress yourself the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? Basically trying to, go head up with everybody who has, let's say a difference of opinion with you in anything. You know what I mean? That's gonna stress you out. Wear you out, you know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta play the low, you know what I mean? 'Cause of course we're gonna take more L's than get dubs in this truth anyway. So when certain situations occur, just move with wisdom. You know what I mean? Let these niggas have their fun. Whether it's so-called white man kind of getting at you, not kind of getting at you all the time. Your woman, stranger out and about, let that shit go, man. I'm not telling you gonna do that 100% of the time, because sometimes certain situations just need to be rectified. But for the most part, you should just be playing the low and moving with wisdom, how the scriptures tell us to do. Because you gotta realize it's a spiritual battle. All right, if Satan know he can jump on somebody, or a demon could jump on somebody and say one thing and knock you out your hookup, who's in control? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you've gained through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or Satan plaguing you with little jabs? Who's winning that fight? Satan conquering you at that time. And the only way to combat that is to move with wisdom. The wisdom and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, man. All right. So I'm gonna hop into the scriptures. Grab a couple things. This is Sirach 32:7. It says, "Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art asked, Salakia, when thou art twice asked." It says, "Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue." All right. And that's what you're going to have to do sometimes in this truth. Yeah, you know the truth. You know what I mean? You know what's off. You amongst this world, but you got to realize this ain't our world. You know what I mean? So you got to be one that knoweth yet holdeth his tongue. You know what I mean? So every time you see a nigga with a ham sandwich, you ain't got to, go into the law. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever. You know what I mean? Especially if it's somebody that you've told already. You see your girl with a damn lobster and shrimp dinner. All right. It's not your job to basically, beat it into their head. I remember, I believe it was Acts, Salakia, I can't remember the exact chapter, but Paul basically told him, look, I told you what it was. I've wiped the blood from my hands. I told you once. That's it. That's it. So that's why thy speech should be short, all right? A man of wisdom is a few words anyway. You know what I mean? So if you find yourself in one of those situations, you say what you got to say. If the person is being combative, let them be combative. Because the wisdom of this world has consumed them. So they already gone. Let the unjust be unjust still. Every battle is not worth fighting. Comprehending much in few words, be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. So just because we have the knowledge, don't mean we gotta display it at all times, rebuke and go at our adversaries at all times. in every single situation. Now, when it comes to going out on the highways and byways, yes, we rebuke this wicked kingdom. You know, we rebuke this kingdom in our videos, you know, throughout the week. But when you on the humble, what they call the humble, you don't have to, you know, battle everybody about everything. Some things are just, you know, too small to get worked up over, you know. So even though, once again, even though you know, you're one that knoweth, you know, yet you hold your tongue, whatever, you know. Go ahead on and do you. You know. I'm gonna grab Colossians. It's Colossians 4:5. It says, walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. All right, to them that are without. All right, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all the other nations, you still got to walk in wisdom. Although we know their fate, you know, whether it be the so-called white man going into slavery in other nations, you know, 2/3 receiving grievous deaths from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we still got to walk in wisdom towards them. You know what I mean? We still do, you know what I mean? Because we are sheep sent amongst wolves. We not here to bark on everybody, you know. Now at camp, okay, we do that. That's our job. On the videos, we do that. But when you just out and about, you supposed to be on your Clark, what they call your Clark Kent. You know, I remember the brother Arashad, you know, in my camp was telling me about that, your Clark Kent. You feel me? Cause when you look at Superman, he wasn't, you know, laser beaming motherfuckers when he was in the, you know, I think he worked at a newsroom. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't picking up fucking chairs and hitting niggas with it. You know what I'm saying? He had all the strength to do that, but he knew it was a time and place for everything. All right? That was the wisdom, because he would have, I mean, yeah, he would have blew his cover if he was just, you know, Clark Kent, you know, picking up a train on the way home. You know what I mean? Just for lack of a better example. You know what I mean? So you got to play your Clark Kent. You know what I mean? Or just like, I don't know why I'm on these superhero thing. I guess as a spirit, but like Spider-Man. No, he was looked at as a weak ass motherfucker. You know, excuse my language. But he was looking at as a weak person. As Peter Parker, he was like a weak nerd and all that shit. You know what I mean? But within, he was, you know, had what they call superhuman abilities. You know, just using that as an example. You know, so it's a time and a place for everything. Although you have the power, you don't always have to exude it at every single moment. It's a balance to everything, all right? It says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man, seasoned with salt. All right, I remember the Apostle Tahar went into this, man. All right, you got to know how to talk to everybody, whether it be Edomites in the world you got to deal with, the nigger woman, everything, man, seasoned with salt, man. You got to, I remember the way that the Apostle Tahar described it was just like when you season in meat, all right, you just put the right amount on there, the perfect amount, all right, because if you don't put enough, then it's gonna be bland. All right, if you put too much, it's gonna be too salty. People gonna spit it out. All right, but you have to put the right, so like you have to put the right amount of salt on there. You know, as it pertains to the food. So with that being in your conversation, you know, put the right amount of salt on your words when you're amongst these people. All right, don't make it too salty. You know what I mean? When you banging on them all the time. All right, but don't find yourself in a situation where you're not putting enough salt on it either. You bland and shit and all that. You got to find the right amount to hit every single spirit with. You know? So if let's say you're dealing with someone who has an aggressive spirit coming at you, you a brother in the truth, they got an aggressive spirit. All right, combat that with just being laid back. You know? Especially if it's a woman, they hate that when they all mad and then you calm with it. Eventually they'll chill out, because anybody who's being aggressive and you're not being aggressive with them is eventually gonna realize that they're being an idiot. and they gonna calm down. And that's just a quick example of how you combat that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna read that back. It says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how to, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Because everybody different. Every spirit that's gonna come up to you is not the exact same spirit. So you gotta season your speech with salt to know how to deal with everybody accordingly. And once again, it comes with time, you know, because I know our brothers can attest to first coming into the truth and just, you was putting too much salt on everything, you know. It's just full go mode at all times. But eventually, you know, you realize you're wasting your time. You know, the Most High say He gonna choose their delusions, so don't let the delusion that the Most High chose for them to not get it anger you. Know that it's all a part of the plan. All right. Get another scripture. I'm gonna close out. It's Sirach 37 and 11. It says, neither consort with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. All right, that's not seasoning your speech with salt. If you talk to a woman about some other woman she jealous of, that's just gonna fire her up, man. And nobody wants that. You know what I mean? Who wants to be around a fucking, especially the nigga woman when she get like that, man? You know? Neither with the coward, Salaki, neither with the coward in matters of war, right? Because if you talk to a coward about war, he's scared, man. So, you know, that would just be unwise to talk to a coward about war, right? These are all examples of you seasoning your speech with salt, man. You know, it says, nor with the merchant concerning exchange, nor with the buyer of selling, all right? Because a consumer doesn't really know the other side of selling. Like America, they're a consuming nation. You know, they don't really sell anything, man. All right? So, of course, you would talk to someone who just for example, in this example right here, you would talk to someone who exports about selling rather than someone who just receives imports or is a consumer, you know. Nor with the envious man of thankfulness, man. How you gonna talk to an envious man about being humble and thankful? So when you're around that envious man, you will season your speech with salt, you know. You know he a jealous, covetous type dude. That's like talking to Esau about being humble, man. You know. Nor with the unmerciful man touching kindness. All right. How can a murderous man, damn, spirit jumping in Esau now, murderous man like Esau, all right, how can you talk to him about kindness, okay? Scriptures say he has a perpetual hatred for the Israelites. He don't know nothing about no kindness, you know? So that's why when you talk to these people about that, they get all upset, you know what I mean? Nor with the slothful for any work. I talk to a lazy man about, you know, getting up and working hard. It's going to go nowhere, you know. Nor with the hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with the idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. All right. So basically, the point is, you got to deal with everybody accordingly. You know what I mean? You can't come with the same exact spirit every time at everybody. You got to learn how to speak with grace, how to season your speech with salt, man. You know? And sometimes, even though you know everything that's going on, you know, keep silence. That all, you know what I mean, falls into wisdom while we are dwelling in this dark place. All right? So I hope that video was edifying. You know, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Shemal Shah, Waha Rakor Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth across the four corners of the earth. Shalom.